Hey guys, Massimo here. I'm doing a quick video on the Wave. This goes out to my buddy Sean in New York. You so owe me lunch. Damn it. Okay, so just kidding. But basically, I'm going to show you how to mount camera to the Wave, how to keep everything balanced, and then also how to mount the Wave to your Steadicam and some other mounting options that are possible with the Wave. Okay, so let's get right into it. So when you get your Wave, basically what's going to happen is you're going to have this declaration of conformity when you open up the case. Great case, by the way. It's like a Pelican case, but not. But it's the same quality, if not better. Air valve, watertight, great solid handles. This is the good plastic, like the good strong stuff, not that cheap Chinese crap. Okay, so you open it up, you're going to get a declaration of conformity. You're also going to get like a checklist of what you ordered. That's in the case. Then you're going to get instruction manual. Basically, it's how to mount camera. It basically talks about camera Wave functions, setting up stuff. Okay, basically that's in here. Then you're going to get another camera mounting sheet, and they put this in there twice so that way you know how to mount the camera. We're going to get into this in a second. Then you're going to have the plate that you ordered that goes into the quick lock, and this could be similar to your Steadicam. That's what I would recommend. So if you have a Tiffen Steadicam, order a Tiffen plate. If you have a GPI Pro, order a GPI Pro plate. But basically, you're going to get your plate, and then I'll put this over here, and then you're going to get the Wave itself. It should be locked when you get it, meaning that this lock pin is locked. That prevents it from sliding around unnecessarily, and your power options, etc., etc. Basically on the back here, this is your trim knob. This is how you adjust your horizon. So if you wanted to force a Dutch and maybe get a two degree Dutch, you could do that. Or if you wanted to stay perfectly horizoned out, typically from the factory, it's perfect. So I wouldn't go futzing with it if you don't need to. The only time you would ever want to futz with this knob, turning it, would be if DP is asking you to go left or right or whatever. This is your power connection. This is where your power cable is going to plug into. The minute you power this thing on, you're going to get 3 lights in the front that are going to light up, a green, a red, and a blue, I believe. Basically letting you know that it has power. But you won't need to plug this in until you're ready to start waving. But I'll explain it to you in a second. Okay, so then this port is for, I believe, Betz's own proprietary, like follow focus motor and a whole bunch of other stuff. Don't worry about it. Probably won't need it. USBs if you need to do upgrades, your SD card slot, whatever. Probably won't need to use any of this stuff. Basically just plug in your power and adjust your horizon. That's all you should need to do. Okay, so there's your Wave. And by the way, this plate clicks into here. Your camera would go on top of here, but this plate clicks into here. And then as far as mounting, you have 2 3/8/16 holes on the bottom to mount this to either your Steadicam or whatever else. I'm going to go into that later. And then you have your power cable. So basically your power cable is a LEMO connector. I'm not 100% sure if this is a 1B or a 2B. Sorry, I'm not up to my LEMO lingo, but it is a 3-pin, as you can see in there. I'm trying to get focus. But if you can see in there, it's basically a 3-pin LEMO. And Betz will have an exact answer. I chose D-tap on the other end. I'll explain why in a minute, but we'll get into that later. Okay, so let's talk about basic fundamental operating of the Wave. So the best way to keep your Wave lasting as long as possible is keep your camera center of gravity low, and also try at all costs to keep your balance left and right equal. Okay, so in the example that they give you here in the instructions, they're using an ARRI Alexa, right? So let's talk about balance first before we get into mounting. So in this case, they're flying just a regular Alexa with an eyepiece. So because the eyepiece is on, normally the center of balance left and right would typically be the center of the camera, like this, down the lens cap. But because they have the eyepiece on, they're heavier on this side. So they move the camera over one hole, basically. So instead of mounting in the center, they moved it over one hole so that they could keep the balance left and right on the camera. Something to remember is low is good. So try to avoid, I'm not saying you can't, but try to avoid mounting anything up here. do not put your Teradek up here. Do not put your MDR up here. Do not put a first AC monitor up here like a TV Logic or a small HD 702 or whatever you decide to use. Try to keep all that stuff on the side and as low as possible. So side and low as possible, or the back of the camera. Like if you have to mount a Teradek, try to mount it to the back, maybe onto the battery on the back. Use Velcro. Use Teradek has that power pass-through bracket thing that you can sandwich between the camera and the battery. You know, whatever you need to do to get everything off of the top of the camera as possible, and also make sure that you're balanced left to right. So typically, this is an RE dovetail plate. So typically, an Alexa would slide into an RE dovetail. Can you put the RE dovetail directly into here? No, unfortunately. It's too wide. As you can see, it's too wide by about maybe 2 or 3 millimeters, or about, I'd say something like half an inch, maybe half an inch to 3/4 of an inch. So you cannot put this directly in here. That's why you need to order a plate that goes into the quick lock plate. So this plate is Tiffen Steadicam because I have Tiffen Steadicam. So your RE dovetail would mount to this. Your camera would go on top, and then this whole thing would go into here. Okay. So remember, in our example, we had to shift camera over to compensate for the eyepiece, right? If you balanced out your camera to where you had like a monitor here, or you had your MDR here, then you wouldn't necessarily need to shift your camera, but try to find the center point of your camera. How do you do that? So mount your RE Alexa onto this plate. Take this plate, and you can use some rods, right? So now what you can do is you can put your camera on and try to find the center. If the center is here, which in this case it probably would be, this would be the center, or actually, sorry, it would be in this case, because if your eyepiece was here, giving more weight to this side, you'd have to move the camera over, right? Which is what the example showed. So you're here. So this set of holes is what you'd want to mount to here, right? Because you're offsetting, remember, offsetting the camera this way, you need to offset the dovetail plate off center of this guy. Got it? So now, front to back, right? So let's turn this sideways. So front to back. When you remember, dovetail plate is on this, and then this is what's going to go into here. When you put camera into the quick lock plate, try to be balanced front to back when you go into here. That will help to keep your motor running properly on the Wave, and also help you to keep this thing as strong as possible for as long as possible. So you're going to have a Cooke S4 lens here. You're going to have a Panavision lens here. You're going to have a, whatever it is, a Zeiss CP2 lens here, or whatever it is. Make sure you're balanced with lens, matte box, whatever the heck, front to back, and also left to right. Okay. So let's say now you're ready to put your camera into the plate. So this is off the Steadicam. You haven't even put this on the Steadicam yet, right? Use camera assistance cart, use a table, try to get as flat of a surface as possible. The floor, in an extreme circumstance, if that's all you have, try to use the case if you have to. But whatever it is, make sure this pin is locked, right? That it's not unlocked, but make sure it's locked. Go ahead and click your camera in. So as you click your camera in, right? As you click in, this lever is going to swing out. It's not going to swing all the way. I'm going to show you 3, 2, 1. It's going to click to here. Just give it a little just to make sure that it's sealed. But typically, this sucker ain't going anywhere. And it does not have to come all the way over. Just to there is fine. Okay, so remember, your camera was balanced before you even put it on the rig. Front to back, and also left to right. So just to make sure that that is the case, what you want to, I'm going to try to do this with one hand, but what you want to do is unlock this blue pin. So you're going to pull out, and then come a quarter turn over, right? So now your Wave is unlocked. So it should do this. It should want to move freely. If you unlock it and right away the camera goes whoop, like it clicks to one side, that means that you're either too heavy on this side or that you're too top heavy. So if you're in the example of the Alexa, if you're too top heavy, it's because you put something up here that you weren't supposed to. Remember, don't put anything on top, because the higher the gravity is, or the higher the center point of gravity is, the harder your wave is going to have to work to keep the center. So if you do this right off the bat, you know that you're either too heavy on this side, or that you did not mount your RE dovetail plate in the correct spot. So typically if you went this way, it means that you're going to need to move the plate over one, or move something on the camera over, whatever you can do to find your center point. Okay, so now that, let's say you put camera on here and you're balanced, right? And you can do this, and it always comes back to center. Or it might swing a couple times and then come back to center. As long as it comes back to center, that's the important thing. So now you want to relock this pin. So as I relock the pin, let's make this one hand. So I'm going to turn and it's going to lock, right? It didn't click all the way. And the reason for that is because this thing is off. So find the center. And if I can show you this, you'll see the pin click back in when you find the center. So as you rotate this, boom, it clicks back in. Now you know you're locked again and that you're at the center. Okay, so your camera's on here, everything's on here. Now you're ready to mount this thing to your Steadicam. Okay, so remember on the bottom you've got two 3/8/16 holes, right? So let's say in this example, you have a Tiffen Steadicam, right? So this would be your Steadicam plate. This would be the plate that actually came off of your Steadicam, right? So now you need to mount this whole thing with camera and everything onto your Steadicam, right? If my fingers were the post, right, you need to be balanced on your Steadicam left to right and front to back. So what I would do is now you need to get a set of rods or whatever you can find that you can balance on. With camera and everything, go down the rods and try to find your left and your right balance. And then try to find, you turn this sideways, and then try to find your balance front to back. Remember, you had already balanced your camera up here with this plate and finding the center point there. Now you need to find the center point of all this, which in this case would be about right there, right? So now I know that this is the middle. So the center of this, front to back, should go into the middle of the plate, front to back. Now, the left and right is where it gets tricky. Okay, so remember in our example, we used the RE Alexa. You had to move camera over this way to keep it balanced onto here. So theoretically, it should be balanced down the center. You might not find that is the case with your Steadicam. Maybe your monitor was crooked to left or to right, or whatever reason your Steadicam post or this whole thing might be off center. So that's why it's important to try to find the center left and right here. So whatever the center point is between left and right gravity, not the true center, but gravity, left and right, that's where you want to mount it to your Steadicam plate. So in this case, I already know from experience, because we moved camera over this way, you're going to have to move this whole thing over this way to keep this whole thing with your camera balanced to the Steadicam. So in this case, I would use these holes to mount to underneath the wave, and that should keep left and right balance correct. Not the center of the true center, but your balance left and right. Okay, so this goes on to here. This goes onto your Steadicam. Boom, now you're ready to start flying. So how do you start the wave to start flying? Well, when you're in this, you want to keep this locked, by the way, when you're balancing your Steadicam, right? So your Steadicam is balanced, you're ready to start flying. What do you do now? So now is when you want to plug in your cable. Your cable, as far as balance go, is a minute adjustment for left and right, front to back, that you should be able to adjust as you're ready to go. But basically, your power cable is going to plug in. So you're going to plug your Limo into there, and then this is going to go either directly into the battery if you have an Anton Bauer battery. A lot of times they have ports, even V-mount batteries have a direct plug-in into the battery. Or you can go off of a D-tap splitter that came off of the camera. Like sometimes the cameras have a D-tap port and you can go D-tap splitter, go into that or whatever. Whatever you can do. If you choose to go with like a 2-pin connection, go 2-pin connection into your Steadicam or go 3-pin connection. Whatever you choose to put on this end, you're basically now powering the Wave. Okay, so as you're ready to fly, so DP yells, okay, we're ready for you, AD saying, okay, go ahead and mount up or whatever. Keep this locked. Go ahead and pull your Steadicam off the post, right? Now you're ready to fly. So then what you want to do is when you're off the post and your post is centered, now you can unlock this. So as you unlock this, you're going to unlock this. It'll take about, remember, you're powered up, right? Your power cable's in there and you're powered up. It'll take about 2 or 3 seconds, sometimes 4 or 5 seconds, and then all of a sudden it's going to do this. It's going to go whoop, whoop, and then find this, and then find the center. So it's going to go whoop, whoop, and then find the center, right? So now you're waving, right? Your Steadicam is in your hand, right? You're ready to start flying. You're doing your thing. First AD yells action, director yells action. You do your shot, right? You've gone 20 feet down a hallway, whatever it was. Now you're ready to mount up again. And sorry, you're ready to dock your Steadicam. So let's say you're a really bad Steadicam operator and you had to wave this much, or the Wave is compensating this much. Before you dock, I know you're tired. I know you've been sweating your balls off basically, or your chocones off if you're a woman. Basically, you're ready to dock. Before you dock, you need to lock this pin back. So let me see if we can do this one hand. So lock the pin, and if you notice, it didn't go in all the way because we're not back to center. So adjust your post, right? Adjust your post so that the Wave, let's see if I can get this on camera. So the Wave clicks, boom, and there it goes. So as you came back to center in the Wave, it clicked. Now you're locked here. Now you can go ahead and dock. Okay. If you only had that one shot, one take wonder, oh my God, you're the best Steadicam operator in the world. Dave Comides, shout out. Neil Bryant, shout out. Sakamoto, shout out. You know what I mean? Like, you guys are the best Steadicam operators in the world. And you've docked. Now what you can do is you can basically unplug power, right? Because you're ready to take camera off of the Wave and do another shot or whatever. So do not leave it powered on if you're not waving. It's another reason to help save and preserve the life of your motor, the motor in the Wave. Okay, so you've unplugged power, you're docked. Now First AD is telling you that Steadicam needs to come off, or your camera needs to come off of Steadicam and you need to go onto sticks. Okay, so here's some options. If you were using an RE Alexa or an RE Mini, right, and you had the dovetail, right, all you'd have to do is, because you're unpowered, remember, you unplug power, all you'd have to do is slide camera off and go on to another RE dovetail that was already on the sticks. Like, let's say you're using O'Connor sticks or Sacklers or whatever. You could just slide camera off and go on to your sticks. I'm going to show you one option you can do to make things faster. Like if speed was the issue, like you're really moving around a lot, you need to go from place to place to place. Okay, so what you can do is you can order a second quick lock plate, which is here. Sorry. Okay, so you can order a second one of these, which is a quick lock plate, right? Or an extra quick lock plate. So basically this has 5 3/8/16 holes. I'm trying to get focus here. So you can see that it's got 5 3/8/16 holes. So this is what you could mount to your tripod. So you could have your O'Connor plate underneath, right? This would be on top of your tripod. This could also go on a jib. This could also go on a handheld rig. This could go on whatever. So now what you do is, instead of having to slide camera off of here, right, what you can do is just unlock the quick lock plate. This comes out. So remember, camera and everything would be on here. Now you can just dump the camera, boom, right into the second quick lock plate, right? And you're ready to start shooting. You're ready to go. Let's say you wanted to wave with a jib, or you wanted to do handheld and wave with a handheld. It gets even easier. What you can do is, so this is the reason why I ordered 2 of these plates and 1 extra of this. Mount this to basically your jib, your handheld rig, whatever, right? Instead of basically mounting this to your own proprietary Steadicam plate, this plate is the same as your proprietary Steadicam plate. It's the same width, right? So what you could do is you could literally click out of your Steadicam, right? Which would have this plate underneath, right? Because it would have been like this. Remember, camera and all that's up here, right? You've got your Arri Alexa, your Dovetail, then you've got this proprietary Steadicam plate, right? Whether it's a Tiffen or GPI Pro or whatever. All that stuff is up here, right? So now what you can do is you can basically click out of your Steadicam and go right into here. Boom, and you're just ready to go, and you could still be waving. Plug your power back in, unlock your pin, boom, and now you've got, let's say your jib only had tilt and pan. Now you've got a horizon as well. Upsell that, up the yin-yang to the producers. Tell them, say, look, I'm making this as fast as possible for production so that you can click out a Steadicam with the Wave. Damn it, you should be charging like $400 a day extra for this. Hint, hint, hint. Try to optimize your marketing potential. Damn it. Get this whole thing into the dolly, into the tripod. You're on the beach and you don't want to futz with the 3-axis freaking O'Connor sticks to try to get that thing perfect. Boom, this will help you to balance out your rig. You could, if you really wanted to go nuts, unclick out of here and go handheld, and do it that, whatever you wanted to do. Mount this to your handheld rig, mount this to your jib. I'm just showing you options of what you can do to get everything up and running. Okay, so that's basically it. If you guys have any questions, comments, whatever, if you want to post anything up, I will try to answer as many questions as I possibly can. Please subscribe to this channel. Please like this video. I am available in Los Angeles as both a Steadicam operator, a Wave owner operator, a handheld operator. I have an easy rig. Basically, if you're in Los Angeles or you come to Los Angeles and you want to know how to optimize your production by using this on your production, please send me an email, shoot me a text, whatever. Get to me so that I can help you with your production. And hopefully everybody watching this video that owns one of these and now knows how to mount it, power it, etc. You, like I said, try to optimize the heck out of this thing and sell it to production as a speed enhancer, as a time saver. Basically something that will help production move faster, quicker, because you're all about saving production time and money. Damn it! That's my advice to you. Okay, catch you on the next one.